Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be watching the 1992 Tupac band MTV interview. This one says it's in high definition and it has unreleased outtakes. So yeah, I'm just going to scooch out of the way and then we could just get to watching it. The last one we watched was his high school interview. So I'm excited to see this one and what it brings, what else it's going to teach us about Tupac. This is only 11 minutes and 36 seconds, so it won't take us too long. As usual, I have my beverages. This is chai. It's hard not to say chai tea. It's really difficult. I have chai. Tea. All right, I scoot out of the way. Hopefully this is clear enough for you to see. And yeah, we'll just jump into it, man. We'll just jump into it. Oh, let me unmute. Okay, let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna double them, but give me more volume in the headphones. As loud as possible without killing me. I got it now. I got it now. I got it. Watch out now. I got it. Hold on now. I got it. Play the beat. Okay, let's get serious. First of all, it's not a joke. It's very serious. Christmas album, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. We just want to send this out to my man right now.
Hold on, I missed. First of all, the captions are garbage, and I missed so much in the first 30 seconds. I just want to see if I could pick up just any words at all. That's so fun to see him playing around.
Okay, I'm gonna double them, but give me more volume in the headphones.
Oh, it's him over there.
I got it now. I got it. I got it. Watch out now. I got it. Hold on now. I got it.
I got you.
Okay, let's get serious. First of all, it's not a joke. It's very serious. Christmas album, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. We just want to send this out to my man right now.
Tell me, how do you pronounce your name?
Tupac.
Tupac.
Remember, like two and Pac like pocket. You won't go wrong. Just Tupac.
Good. Looking good. What's your best Christmas memory?
Let me see. When I thought we didn't get any gifts for Christmas, I was in Baltimore. I thought we didn't get nothing. It was a knock on the door. My sister's principal from her school came, and they had like this charity, whatever, where they give like the turkey to the poor family on the block. We was the poor family. So we got this turkey. I got some cheap boots, got little cheap trinkets. But on Christmas, you want as many trinkets as possible. And so I got a whole bunch of little tiny things. It was cool. We got free cheese, free beans, free butter, free everything. All that little government surplus stuff. But on Christmas, you need it. As opposed to us having an empty refrigerator, empty nothing. So I just remember when it first came, and it's always like a Christmas carol playing around Christmas time on somebody's TV. And I just remember that first feeling, like really feeling like, dang, this is Christmas. This is like the give thing. The give thing. That's when I used to feel the sorriest for my mother. It's because there was no man there, and this is a woman, my mother. She had to tell us, she had to make it like Mary, and there was nothing there. There wasn't even regular dinner, let alone Christmas dinner, and she had to explain to us how, it's so hard to sell that all we need is each other's speech, especially when your stomach hurts. And she's telling us that as our stomachs go, she's like, all we need is each other. It's meat. But I thought it was just so beautiful how she just would be strong and she would do it. And she would never use that time to go, your fathers are really jerks, they really left me here. But they did. Our fathers really did leave her. And our fathers, like my father, my sister's father, different fathers, but they really did leave us. And, they didn't call on Christmas to help my mother explain why the hell we ain't getting no gifts. They was just like, with they woman, wherever they was, being big shotty, being Santa Claus to somebody else's kids. And so, no love taken from my father, God rest his soul, but, I mean, I got it. He better not expect nothing big on Christmas.
Tell me about some.
So yeah. 3 minutes in, I have to say that like I think, you know, one thing that really shines through regarding Tupac is just like how relatable he is for people who come from similar backgrounds. I mean, just that excitement over just having anything. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it was like old shoes or somebody's hand-me-downs. Like if it's new to you, it's kind of just like exciting and it makes Christmas special. I'm curious to know from you guys what's your favorite Christmas memory for as a child. Because I mean, I feel like one of the things about musicians and just artists in general and writers, but musicians especially, and this is why I feel like musicians don't get enough credit. It's like books take a while to read, right? Movies take a while to watch. But a song is 3 minutes long and it can create worlds and take you on journeys and help you to make sense of your life. And I feel like Tupac has done that with his music so well. And it shows through his music and through this interview that he has just so many rich experiences and just so much to share with us. And it's amazing, And as I've said before, and as I was just saying, like, the reason I ask you to tell me what your favorite memory is from, Christmas is not because it's like your story is just as relevant because he's a part of your story. And so when we get to know more about you, I also get to know more about him, if that makes sense, like we're all a part of it some way, somehow. So it's interesting. My most memorable Christmas memory, if you care to know, I worked on a construction site and I was like maybe like 12 and I was carrying like buckets of like gravel and stuff like that, and then I ended up getting enough money because I got paid for it, enough money to go to my first grand market. It's a Jamaican thing, and I was like really feeling myself, man. I had money that day. That shit was exciting. That was also my first job. Yeah, at 12. So that was pretty dope. So tell me, don't hesitate. Tell me what's your favorite. Um, and then he said something about like, growing up and like just not really having a lot of things to, that Christmas spirit and not having Christmas dinner and all those different things. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I wonder at what point in his life he realized that that was important to him. Christmas dinner, Christmas spirit, because those are things that are shared with us and we're told to value those things. And it's just, I can't help but question that. Like, at what point? Because at what point do you realize that you're ugly, that you're poor, and that you're other in society? At what point do we start realizing or feeling that way? Like I didn't realize, like I never thought I had a big nose until girls in high school started troubling me about it and making fun about it. I thought I was fine. I never thought like I had a lot of scars until I started seeing a lot of people who didn't have scars and realizing, oh shit, I'm like all chopped up and shit. So it's just curious to me when he speaks of these things. Of course, I can relate. Of course, I remember things like that too. But it's just like, we have to go a little like layers deeper and ask ourselves why we even feel that way to begin with. But so far, I'm really enjoying the interview, and I can't really understand like why this was banned. Why would they have banned this? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but maybe later on we'll see. I really like this. Let's keep on going. I'm about to pull it back maybe like 10 seconds or so.
Santa Claus to somebody else's kids.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, no love taken from my father, God rest his soul, but...
Oh, yeah, and that's another thing he mentioned about his mom. He said that his mom never spoke down on their father. Like, his mom is an interesting person. Is probably somebody we should look into on the channel. I feel like it would really help us to color in a lot of things about Tupac. But his mom is interesting for that. I read a book recently. I can't remember what it's called. The book you wish your parents read. The something like that. I'll put the title or the whatever. But inside the book she mentions, how like you should never speak down about your partner in front of your kids because it's not good. No matter whatever issues or fighting you're having, never speak down on them. I never had that experience. My mom spoke poorly about my father, and it just like it it messed with my head, you know. You really should never do that. You know, allow your children to decipher for themselves if their parent is a good parent or not. If they're not doing anything to harm them, then you don't need to tell them that their father's a deadbeat or he's good for nothing, or even say things like you're just like your dad or you're just like your mom. It's really messed up. So I'm just really grateful that he had this woman in his life, because you can see that a lot of like those lessons she taught him are still intact, and he values those things. And it's also super messed up that your father wouldn't have been there for you. You know what I'm saying? That's just, gosh, gosh. It's crazy. And I see some people talking about like his feminine gestures in his high school interview. I think a lot of people who see that and try to take that and use it as something are really stupid, because like if you're raised by somebody primarily, of course you're going to adopt things from that person. It's just the way that it is. So I thought to myself when I saw that he was raised by his mom, and so he probably took her gestures. He didn't have his father around, so like he didn't have that to learn from. You know what I'm saying? And he clearly loved and respected his mother greatly. So of course he was trying to like imitate her because he respected her. If for example, if I was raised by like a man, I'd probably have like a lot of like masculine things going on. I don't know, because you go off of who, is a good representation for you. So, that's all I have to say about that. So it's just really cool. I'm really enjoying this. Let's keep on going.
I mean, I got it. He better not expect nothing big on Christmas.
Tell me about some of the special things that someone growing up in the inner city and in your situation or deals with.
Okay. Man, it's like,
He contradicts himself too. He says, may he rest his soul, but then he says he better not expect anything on Christmas. But then I've also heard that there's a video of his father doing an interview floating around. What's going on? Somebody clarify that for me, because I might be lost in the source. I don't know.
Tell me about some of the special things that someone growing up in the inner city and in your situation or deals with.
okay. Man, it's like, that's deep. It's like, when you're born, usually you're born into a dynasty or an empire, right? You're born like as a junior or, following in your father's footsteps. You always tell your father, he did this, or your father, or your grandfather, he did this, or we got
He's
this, or the
funny.
family heirlooms. There's none of that. And in the outer city. I call it the outer city because we left out. It's nothing. We don't get any family heirlooms, the family crest, all that stuff that you would think is so important was meaningless. Because come on. Our family crest was cotton. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like the only thing we can really leave behind is culture, is music, and dignity and determination. That's what we had. So it's
It's a
like,
lot.
I feel as though I'm cheated because instead of me fulfilling my prophecy, I have to start one. Instead of me,
That's dope though.
doing a good job and carrying on the empire, I have to build one.
That's
And
dope
that's a hell of a
though.
job for a 21-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of a job for any youngster, male or female.
Ain't nobody better for the job than you, my guy. Bruh. Not even a hair got in my eye because I'm like getting all fired up. Listen, like, I'm getting chills. I wish I could have sat down and reasoned with this brother, man. I wish we missed each other by 9 months. That's crazy. Now I just told you my age. Do the maths. And also tell me when I was born. But yo, listen, listen, brothers and sisters. I'm the headphone one drop off. Listen, I have very, very strong opinions about these things. So, I totally understand and empathize with the things he's saying and where he's coming from, talking about the lack of a crest and all these different things. Yes, these are relevant to the conversation and I value them greatly. Yo, this interview is good. This interview is gold. He's saying so many amazing things. Listen, I just want to say Like, and first of all, at 21, and somebody said this to me, they were like, because they're not like a Tupac fan, but they watched his high school interview, and they were like, oh, you're totally right, like he's so intelligent for a 17-year-old, but like he's also intelligent just like as a person overall, like as a man, he's more intelligent than the average person, because there's so many fools running around. Like Tupac is just so smart, he's so intelligent. Not only is he just intelligent, he is very observant. Here for 21, this is a lot of like perception. Like he's really, really so intelligent, and just like being able to answer any question like on the fly like this, again, like it shows him still being the person he was at 17. I don't know. I find all of it just to be so remarkable. But I just want to say, all that he's saying, you know what I'm saying? All these like negatives, these drawbacks, these things that he doesn't have, to me, man, like if he had those things, he wouldn't be Tupac. You understand what I'm saying? If he had those things, he wouldn't be that guy. And I love the person that he is. So it's like, it's such a difficult, I understand it, but it's so difficult for me to say, yeah. You know what I'm saying? If anything, like I understand the value of building a legacy and trying to make things better for those that come after us. And I feel like he fulfilled that to the T, man. To the T. Yes, you had to do it and it wasn't fun, but you got it done, brother. That's all I gotta say. I got more to say, but I won't bore you.
Have to build an empire for your family. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, especially when the odds is that you know what I'm saying? That's a hell of a job for any youngster, male or female,
Yeah, of
to have to
course.
build an empire for your family. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, especially when the odds is that, you know that somebody else who lives in the inner city, the real inner city, suburbia, who, when he's born, 16, he gets a car, automatic. There's money in the bank for college. It's Christmases, go to vacation somewhere. Our vacations was down the street, cross town, grandma house. You know what I'm saying? That was the vacation. Or, or jail, to be even more real. And I hate to make this like sad story, but it's real. Because this world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. Everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. If you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped. Just, I feel like instead of us just being like, slavery's bad, slavery's down, bad whitey, bad whitey. All right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that, we've been slighted. And we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we passed that. But we need help. For us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help. Because we have been here, we have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like,
God, man. The man smart, man. Him just know all of the things, them, man. No, sir. Him smart, man. Smart, bad, man. Hold on. Hold on. We have to take a couple steps back, man. No, sir. Tupac's interviews are like his music. Like, you have to pull it back if you really intend to have any sort of appreciation for anything the guy is saying. Come on, man.
thing we can really leave behind is culture, is music, and yeah. So it's like, I feel as though I'm cheated because instead of me fulfilling my prophecy, I have to start one. Instead of me, doing a good job and carrying on the empire, I have to build one. And that's a hell of a job for a 21-year-old.
I just want to say on this topic again, because another thought popped into my mind. Yes, I understand that a person born down the street has these things that you do not have. But it's like, and I remember I said it to you guys in something else. One of my uncles said, you have all the ingredients to be a failure. And I thought to myself, and he probably said this to me like when I was 16 or something. And I thought, well, I can take those same ingredients and become a success, whatever success means to you, because you define that. You define what makes you successful, nobody else. So, you know, yes, you are born with these disadvantages and these things that are meant to set you back. But if you can look at those things and say, these are the things that are actually going to propel me forward, which is exactly what he did. Which is exactly what he did. Like, I don't even, like, I haven't done an album review for Machiavelli, but I intend to after we listen to the unreleased tracks, okay? It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say because he's speaking nothing but truth. And it's not like I disagree with what he's saying, but I feel like a part of what we're supposed to do when we listen to somebody like Tupac is to kind of like try to uncover a lot of what he is saying to us. And I think like in a lot of his songs, and I remember this especially in Me Against the World, where he would say things like, you know, I can't do anything. My life is over. Kind of lyrics or writing, but then he would try to tell you what to do and how to fix it and how to change. And so, if we're gonna carry on his legacy, we have to look at what he's saying to us and try to then use that information to try to make our own lives better. So that's all I'm saying. People, I feel like people who have like things handed to them have to then figure out for themselves what makes their life valuable. They have to figure out where does that meaning and appreciation come from. And I don't know, it's just like, yes, things aren't perfect for you, but the ability and just this opportunity to see the world from this perspective is amazing. Sorry, I hit my computer, you might have heard that. It's amazing. It's amazing. There's something about you being you, experiencing life as you, that's just kind of sick, brother. Maybe you weren't born rich and with all the other things that other people had, but if you manage to find some value in your life and to kind of create and build a legacy of your own and create something that is worth passing down to somebody else, whether that is just an insight, because it doesn't have to be physical things, just an insight or a perspective that you can pass on to your cousin or your son or your daughter or your sister. Value is there. I'm done now. I'm gonna keep on going.
I'm saying that's a hell of a job for any youngster, male or female, to have to build an empire for your family. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, especially when the odds is that, you know that somebody else who lives in the inner city, the real inner city, suburbia, who, when he's born, 16, he gets a car, automatic. You know, there's money in the bank for college. You know, it's Christmases, go to vacation somewhere. Our vacations was down the street, cross town, grandma house. You know what I'm saying? That was the vacation. Or, or jail, to be even more real. And I hate to make this like sad story, but it's real. Because this world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. If you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped. Just, I feel like, instead of us just being like, slavery's bad, slavery's down, bad whitey, bad whitey.
So my question is, and like his observation there is 100% correct. The world is gimme, 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 take, take, take. And it's like, you have to then decide for yourself, am I going to be a part of that? Or am I going to try to be different? And like, how do we do that? I'm just curious for that, because I feel like, a lot of people, their whole fixation on their little fleeting lives is, how do I get rich? Like, you're gonna die in like 50 years maybe. So like, what's the point of it all? To just be so obsessed with acquiring stuff that you can't bring with you to the grave, so obsessed with your appearance, so obsessed with your reputation. For what? To what end? It's so dumb, man. It's like a waste of time. So I'm just curious, like, what do we do differently? Like, where do we go from here? Because, like, honestly, with the jobs and the cars and the houses and the clothes and all the things, I can't see the value in it. Yes, it feels good to look good and to take care of yourself and to be someplace comfortable. That's nice. But is that it? Ay, no, man, that can't be it. We gotta do more than that.
All right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that.
And I understand. We can't necessarily, And this is the disadvantage of poverty, is like a lot of the times because we are poor, we are so focused, fixated on not being poor. So we don't have time to think about anything else. We don't have time to think creatively or to say, this is what I'm going to build, because your whole life is like, what am I going to eat next? Where am I going to sleep tonight? What am I, so of course, if those basic needs aren't met, then how am I going to think about not gimme, 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 take? So like, of course, the original problem needs to be solved, which is where he's going in this conversation. And I do truly value it. Like, I think he's locked in, bro.
I mean, we've been slighted, and we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we passed that. But we need help. I mean, for us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help, because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like, everybody need a little help on their way to being, self-reliant. I mean, if this is truly a melting pot in the country where we care about it, and Lady Liberty got a hand like this, she really loves us, then we really need to be like that. And it needs to be the black kids. And if there's a white person who got money, then he need to help them. He need to help black kids, Mexican kids, Korean kids, whatever. But it need to be real. And it need to be before we all die, and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money. We really should have helped these folks. It's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you got to pay your own karma. And that's when God make you punish. When God punishes you. Because I feel like, it's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million and we got people starving in the streets. That is not idealistic. That's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1 million, $1 billion, and then there's people starving. There's no way. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses.
He has so much passion and so much conviction. I have to tell you, I've been having a hard time accepting his death. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I've struggled accepting death. I feel like when somebody is so alive, like, death does not make sense. So I refuse to accept it. To me, Tupac will always be alive. Call me delusional, say I'm in denial, whatever. I don't care. It's just what feels right. Probably not here in this form, but in some other way is what feels right to me. So I must stick with that. Yeah. And it need to be before we all die, and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money. Oh, yeah.
We really should have helped these folks.
Regarding that part, they have no business. I understand him, he's 21, and it's remarkable to see him as 21 here, to see how much conviction it remains true. He's gotten, a little bit more thugged out than he was when he was 17, but like still Tupac, still, very opinionated and a lot of conviction in that. The people them do not care about we. Them do not care about the poor, the disenfranchised, the heartbroken, the starving, the dirty. They do not care. And the sad thing is that if you get yourself in a little bit of a better position and you say to yourself, well, maybe I'm going to help somebody out, it's like you have to watch your back. Because the same people you decide to help are the same people that hurt you. It's just a multi-layered conversation. Because we have to think about everything. It's like, yes, I'm going to, now life is a little bit better for me. Let me go and lend a helping hand. Yes, you want to do that, but be careful here. Be careful, because, when I think about what happened to Nipsey Hussle, it's just something that just really disturbs me greatly. Because what the hell? What the hell, man? So, all I just say, the people, they're in their little bubbles. You understand? Them nice Alaskan king-size bed. You understand? Them in a them Porsche or them Lamborghini. And they do not care about us. We have to care about us. That's it. And nobody's going to force them to care. And they do not care about karma. And they do not care about God. And they do not care about the end results. And you know why that is? I'm going to write a little story about it, but I'm going to tell you right now, they do not care because why them no business? Because they have been told a story that you live and you die, and if you live a good life, you go to heaven. If you live a bad life, you go to hell. That's if they believe in God and Christianity. All right, there are different stories on the other sides, but they more or less lead to the same thing. I feel like the biggest consequence, the biggest threat is reincarnation. That's my take. You understand? And I hope that a lot of these people reincarnate as this thing they hate. I hope they reincarnate as the thing they hate. As the person they didn't care to look at, that you turned a blind eye to. I hope that the disabled person that you thought, oh, who cares about the disabled? Who cares about people, you know, who have autism or cannot walk or who are like the veterans or whatever? I hope you reincarnate as the thing you hate. That's it. That's the best punishment. The best. Anyways, let's keep on going.
It's gonna be too late. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you gotta pay your own karma. And that's when God make you punish. When God punishes you. Because I feel like, you know, it's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million and we got people starving in the streets. That is not idealistic, that's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1,000,000 billion and then there's people starving. There's no way. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants. I know you're rich. I know you got $40 billion, but can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got 2 kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me. It don't. And then these people celebrate Christmas. They got big trees, huge trees, all the little trimmings. Everybody got gifts, and then somebody's starving. And they're having a white Christmas. They're having a great Christmas, eggnog and the whole nine. That's not fair to me.
It's funny because a lot of what he said when he was 17, he's pretty much saying here. Like, he's maintained this philosophy of like, there's no reason why you should have 10 when another person has 0. Can we just share a little bit? And again, you know, they'll say you're delusional. What you're saying cannot work, but it totally can. They just don't want it to. And we all know why. Go on, talk, Tupac.
I think that when there's hopelessness, people revolt. Because it's like there's nothing that's like, you know, it's like we're going, is America gonna help us ever? You know, because I mean, we know for a long time they haven't. Are they ever? And it's like all these things are showing us no. And you know there's somebody going, no, they're not gonna help you. No, they're not gonna help you. And then of course, we seeing, no, they're not helping us. All BS aside, it all comes down to we gotta survive. I mean, even warriors put their spears down on Sundays. We got to survive here in this country. Because I'm not going back to Africa. We got to survive here. And for us to survive here, white folks, black folks, Korean folks, Mexican folks, Puerto Ricans, we got to understand each other. We got to take a bigger chance. And when I say Americans, people think I'm talking about Uncle Sam. I mean, like, actually Uncle Sam with the gray hair and the flag. I mean, you, the guy, you know, you, the mechanic, wherever, you. I mean, you need to do something. You need to check yourself and see how racist you are. You know what I'm saying? It's real. I think that people...
Hold on. He said, hold on.
Going,
I think I went full screen, sorry.
is America gonna help us ever? You know, because I mean, we know for a long time they haven't. Are they ever? And it's like all these things are showing us no. And you know there's somebody going, no, they're not gonna help you. No, they're not gonna help you. And then of course, we seeing, no, they're not helping us. All BS aside, it all comes down to we gotta survive. I mean, even warriors put their spears down on Sundays. We got to survive here in this country. Because I'm not going back to Africa. We got to survive here. And for us to survive...
I just want to say that they're not... I come from a place that's not America. They're not helping us. No. We've got to help ourselves. And, you know, the sad thing about the history of, like, people in America, you know, Black people, is that they did make a lot of efforts to help themselves, and a lot of those efforts were sabotaged. you know, and I'm sure it's not limited to Black people. I'm sure people of other races would have made efforts and it was sabotaged. Why are you doing that? They're just trying to help themselves. You know, it's insane. It's insane. But no, they're not gonna help you. As long as they can put it in their reports and say 10% would this is done by 10% or it's done by 5%, then the 10 million people who are still in poverty do not matter because their reports look better. So yeah. Yeah.
Survive here. White folks, black folks, Korean folks, Mexican folks, Puerto Ricans, we gotta understand each other. We gotta take a bigger chance. And when I say Americans, people think I'm talking about Uncle Sam. I mean like actually Uncle Sam with the gray hair and the flag. I mean you, the guy, you know, you, the mechanic, wherever, you. I mean, you need to do something. You need to check yourself and see how racist you are. You know what I'm saying? It's real.
Yo, you know one thing that used to get me? Oh god. I don't know if I should say this. All right, let me make it general. One thing that used to get me is watching athletes do interviews. I just used to think to myself, why do they sound so dumb? Like, they're so good on the field, but they're so dumb. And I feel like with musicians, I felt a similar thing. Like, why do you have nothing to say? About nothing. What, like, is it just like a single ball in the top of your head just kind of knocking around in there? What's happening? Nothing? Just a no thought? I'm just so impressed that he has so much to say. The average rapper? Your everyday rapper? Nothing. Just freaking crickets, cicadas, just... I'm sorry. That wasn't a good sound effect, but you get it. You get it.
I think that people, not only the rich people have responsibility to give, but the not so rich, because poor to me is without nothing. Like when people say, oh, I was poor, I seem like everybody black has the right to be poor now. That's not true. Poor is not just for black folks. I think that rich black people need to give to poor white folks. You know what I'm saying? And poor Korean people. Whatever. It's not like a color. And this is for real. It's not a color thing. Because what's real bad, I mean, I'm going to answer your question, but to me what's real bad is kids that don't get presents on Christmas. I think adults shouldn't get presents till the kids get all the presents. Because ain't that what it's supposed to be about? Even when you do turn 13 and you know there's no Santa Claus, it's still just for those years when you thought it was. That made life that much more better. And these days, like in the rhyme, it says, we grew up BC, before crack, you and me. We grew up way before all this crazy stuff happened with the AKs and AIDS and all that. Imagine a rough Christmas with all of that and no Christmas. All of this that we got to go through for 365 days a year, and there's no Christmas. Because we know Christmas is relief day. So all of this with no relief day. That's hard. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of stress. That makes you go crazy. So I hope I kind of forgot the question.
Wealthy people, they should be helping.
Okay, yeah. So to make it easy.
Wealthy people.
So you're saying there is an unevenness, there's all these wealthy people that should be helping. Okay.
They should be helping.
Okay, yeah. So to make it even, it's like, okay, if you got $50, you can give somebody $5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know if it's been times I gave somebody, these little kids that was at the gas station. It impressed me that them little kids is like 14 and they pumping people's gas. Instead of like taking the money like I would think. That's the easy way. They pumping people's gas. And you know, people is cruel. They'll give you a quarter after watching you inhale vapors and everything. They'll give you a quarter for pumping gas. And I gave them little kids like $50. They was like, thank you, but that teaches them the worst. That teaches them that when you work hard and being responsible, there's a reward for that. And I think that just like I did that, corporations can do that. And on a big level, just, you know, imagine if a corporation just sent a representative and said, just go hang out in that playground. And when you tell them you see the one, whatever kid is the coolest and shares the ball or lets the most people play the basketball, we're going to give them a scholarship. You know how many things, because then that would bring hope. You know what I'm saying? There's no hope. And it's not going to be too many more Christmases without hope. You know what I'm saying? Not to make it just about Christmas. It's not going to be too many more days without hope. Because if there's hopelessness, there's revolution. And there's, you know, there's change. And if there's change, I mean, somebody's going to end up on the bottom. And that doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to be a we on bottom, you on top thing all the time. It could be just a let's spread.
Oh, man. Hopelessness. If there is change, man, I don't know what to tell you. That was a really, really interesting interview. You know, I feel like he definitely had that revolutionary spirit in him, and it was alive and well. Alive and well, you know. So many of the things that he said here is true, remains true, and that's from 1992, you know. So 4 years from now, you know, he would have been attacked and killed. You know, it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to see his conviction. It's crazy to see how opinionated he was, and I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, and I felt this when I watched him at 17, and I feel this now watching him at 21. He could have been a really great senator. He could have been like Bernie Sanders or something, because he was just so incredibly intelligent and also so very grounded with his life experiences and his ability to, you know, empathize. I've never given a child $50 at the gas station or anywhere else. You know, I've tried to help in other ways, but hearing him say that he did that and hearing him talk about how it made those children happy has inspired me to want to do that. And I feel like one of the things that keeps on happening as I listen to him and now seeing this interview is that, you know, I'm starting to see how inspiring he is. He really is such an inspiring person. I feel like he encourages deeper thought about the situations you're in. And the average rapper does not do that. The average rapper flaunts what they have in your face. They tell you that you are not enough, that you need more. You need the fancy clothes, you need the status, you need this, otherwise you're not good enough. But he flips that on its head. And I don't know. I just have a lot of respect for him. I just do. So, you know, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching it alongside me. I look forward to watching another one with you. We're going to do the unreleased tracks from Machiavelli. Then we're going to move on to Are You Still Down? And, you know, it's been a little bit quiet in terms of like the number of videos coming out on the channel because, you know, maybe you don't know this, but, or maybe you can tell, but these artists really do matter to me. I'm not just selling burgers over here. Okay? It matters. So it takes a little bit of time, especially after I'm done with something like the first two parts of Machiavelli. It's like I have to process that because I've put a lot of my heart into it. It means so much to me. So that's why things are kind of slow. Because it's not burgers. It's not reactions with the side of fries and shakes. Okay? All right. Bet. So I'll see you for the next one. Thank you for hanging with me. I don't know why you're there still with me, just a ramble and I run off my mouth. But I shall see you. I shall see you in the next one. Peace.